Welcome to Spookin' Softly, where darkness breathes and shadows whisper. I'm your host, and tonight we venture somewhere you may not return from unchanged. Find a quiet place, turn down the lights, and let the story find you. Tonight's episode, a box of kittens. You know, sometimes, even now, I still feel the cold. Not just a regular cold like winter, but the kind that gets into your bones and stays there. Like a memory, but physical. It was Christmas, almost, 25 years ago. Closer to 30, actually, if I'm honest. I was maybe 7? Yeah, 7. Old enough to remember everything, but young enough that nobody took what I said seriously. Not really. We lived in this little house, on a street that always went all out for Christmas. Lights, inflatables, the whole 9 yards. My dad, right? He loved it. He was a big, booming kind of guy, full of cheer. The type who'd spend hours untangling fairy lights, complaining the whole time, but with this secret little smile on his face. He wasn't really a cat person, though. That's a key detail. Dog person, sure, but cats? He just thought they were self-sufficient, aloof. That's what he'd say. Too independent for their own good. It was a couple of days before Christmas Eve, a really bitter cold snap, the kind where your breath just hangs in the air, thick and white. He was coming home from work, maybe picking up some last-minute stuff, and he found it, on our porch. A box, just a cardboard box, kind of damp at the bottom from the snow, tucked right up against the front door. He told me later, his first thought was, oh, someone left a present. But then he heard it. This tiny, pathetic little mewling. He opened the box, and there they were, 6 of them. 6 tiny, shivering kittens, no bigger than his hand, all huddled together. All black. Not just dark, but inky, like shadows, with these big, bright, round eyes. He said he looked around, up and down the street. Empty. Nobody. Just the wind rattling through the bare branches. It was one of those moments that just sticks with you. He couldn't just leave them, could he? I mean, who could? It was freezing. So he scooped up the box, grumbling, I bet, muttering about people, about abandonment. He brought them inside, into our warm, brightly lit hallway, and just placed the box on the floor. I remember seeing them, all those little black faces looking up. Their fur was so dark, it almost seemed to drink the light. They weren't purring. They weren't really doing much of anything, just staring and shivering. My dad knelt down and he picked one up. Gently, really gently. He'd never been that gentle with a cat before. I watched him. He held it in his palm, and it just stared at him. No squirming, no kneading, just those eyes. He gave a little sigh, a deep one.
Well, little guys,
He said, almost to himself.
guess you're staying for a bit.
And that was it. That was how it started. He called them the Christmas orphans. He didn't want to keep all 6, obviously. My mom was away visiting her sister in Ohio for Christmas, which, looking back, was probably a blessing for her. Dad had to deal with it. So he started calling around the neighborhood. He was a good salesman, my dad. And it was Christmas, so people were feeling generous, sentimental. Mrs. Henderson down the street, she'd always wanted a cat. Said her old one had passed a few months back. She took 2 of the little black shadows. I remember watching her walk away, cradling them in a carrier. She was so happy. Then there was the Millers, 2 houses down. Their kids were a bit older than me, always asking for a pet. They took one, a tiny, quiet one, just like the others. Mr. Jenkins, who lived alone on the corner, he took another. Said it would be nice to have some company. So, pretty quickly, we were down to 2. I was obsessed, absolutely obsessed. I named the first one I saw, the one my dad had picked up, Mittens, even though it didn't have any white patches. It just seemed like a good, cozy name. The other one, well, the other one was just the other one. I didn't connect with it as much. It was even quieter than Mittens, if that was possible. It would just sit in the box, perfectly still, watching. Always watching. My dad, seeing how much I loved Mittens, how I was constantly whispering to it, stroking its slick, dark fur, he couldn't say no. He tried. He really did.
Sarah, honey.
He said one evening, after everyone else had gone home with their new kittens.
2 cats is a lot, you know? They eat a lot. Vet bills.
But Mittens, he needs me. I remember my voice, high and pleading. He just looked at me, and then at Mittens, who was curled up on my lap, utterly silent, just existing. Those eyes, though. Always those eyes.
All right.
He caved with a big, fake groan.
1. We keep 1. The other one we'll find a home for.
But we didn't. Find a home for the other one, I mean. Christmas arrived, and the other one was still there, mostly tucked away in a back room. My dad was probably planning to drop it off at the shelter after the holidays, when things calmed down. But Christmas itself was fantastic. It was, truly. I got everything I wanted. A new bike, a dollhouse, all the things a 7-year-old dreams of. And Mittens. Mittens was the best present of all. He was curled up right at the foot of my bed on Christmas morning, a tiny dark shadow against the white sheet. He never really played like other kittens. No batting at string, no chasing dust bunnies. He'd just follow me, silently. A soft thud of footsteps if I ran, but mostly just a presence. And that purr. Oh God, that purr. When he did purr, it wasn't a rumbling, vibrating sound. It was like a hum, a low, continuous thrum deep in his chest, almost too low to hear, but you could feel it. It was constant whenever I was near him, like a tiny engine. It wasn't comforting, not really. It was just there, a vibration. My dad, he was so happy to see me happy. He'd sit on the couch, watching me with Mittens, a mug of coffee steaming in his hands. He'd even pet Mittens sometimes, hesitantly, and that hum would start. He didn't seem to notice anything weird about it. Nobody did. It was just a cat, a Christmas cat. But then, a few days after Christmas, everything started to change. It started with Mrs. Henderson. She was the one who took 2 kittens, remember? Sweet old lady, always baked cookies for the neighborhood kids. Well, a couple of days after Christmas, her house caught fire. Just a small electrical fire, they said. Faulty wiring on the tree lights. But it spread fast. Took out her living room, damaged the kitchen. She was fine, thank God. She got out okay. But she lost a lot. Including, as I overheard my dad telling a neighbor, the 2 little black kittens. They didn't make it, burned up in the fire. My dad just shook his head.
Terrible thing. especially at Christmas.
he said. We didn't connect it to the kittens. Why would we? Accidents happen. But then Jimmy Miller went missing. Jimmy was maybe 8, a year older than me. He lived 2 houses down, the family that took one of the black kittens. I remember my dad on the phone, his voice low and worried.
No, he said he tripped over something.
My dad muttered, taking off his coat.
Something small, black, just appeared out of nowhere.
My breath hitched. Small, black. I knew what he tripped over. And no one said anything about Mr. Jenkins' kitten after that. It just vanished. Everyone had an explanation. Faulty wiring, runaway kid, old man's bad eyesight. Coincidence, always coincidence. But it was just too much. Too many coincidences, all centered around those kittens. All the kittens, except mine, and the other one, still in the back room, had either disappeared or had been killed. And the people who had them, hurt, badly. I started to watch Mittens closer. He was different. He didn't play, didn't meow, just that hum. And the way he looked at things, not at me, not really, but through me, or past me, like he was seeing something else, something I couldn't see. I got scared of him. My own cat, the one I loved. I'd wake up at night and he'd be sitting on my chest, those black eyes inches from my face, just staring. That low hum vibrating against my ribs. I tried to push him off, but he felt heavy, heavier than he should have been, and he wouldn't budge. He'd just sit there until I felt completely frozen with fear. I tried to tell my dad. I really did. Daddy, Mittens, he's weird. I remember saying one morning at breakfast, my voice small.
Weird? He's a cat, sweetheart. All cats are weird.
He ruffled my hair, not really listening. No, he just watches me all the time, and he doesn't blink.
Of course he blinks, Sarah. You just don't see it.
He dismissed it, like adults do. Like it was just a child's imagination. But it wasn't. It was real. The other one, the kitten still in the back room, it was almost never seen. My dad would just put food and water in there. I sometimes heard a faint scuttling sound, a whisper of a movement, but nothing more. That kitten was even more of a ghost than Mittens. Then one night, maybe a month or so after Christmas, the cold came back, worse than before. It wasn't just the weather, it was in the air, in the house, a prickling, crawling cold that had nothing to do with the thermostat. And the house felt silent, too silent. I was lying in bed trying to sleep, but I couldn't. I could feel Mittens sitting at the foot of the bed, that hum vibrating through the mattress. I closed my eyes, squeezed them shut, trying to make him disappear. But I could still feel him. Then I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming down the hall. My dad's footsteps. He never came into my room at night unless I was sick. I held my breath. The door creaked open, just a sliver. He came in, fully dressed, like he was going somewhere. Which was odd. He never wore his work clothes at night. The moonlight coming through my window made him look almost translucent. He sat on the edge of my bed, opposite Mittens. Mittens didn't move, just sat there, a dark lump. My dad reached out and gently stroked my hair. His hand felt cold. So cold.
Sarah Bear?
He said. His voice was soft. Too soft. Not his usual booming voice.
You know how much I love you, don't you?
Yes, Daddy. My voice was barely a squeak. I was terrified. Not of him, but of whatever was in the room with us. Whatever was around us.
More than anything in the whole wide world.
He looked at Mittens then, and Mittens looked back. Just a flicker, but it was there. A connection.
You're a brave girl, Sarah.
He paused, took a breath, like he was trying to swallow something.
Remember that. Always be brave.
He leaned down and kissed my forehead. His lips were like ice. And I felt that familiar low hum of Mittens right there against my leg. It was so loud now. I could almost hear it vibrating in my ears. My dad stood up. He didn't say goodbye. He just looked at me for a long, long moment. A look I can still see in my nightmares. A look of sadness, resignation, and something else. Something like relief. Then he turned and walked out of my room. The door closed quietly. I heard his footsteps receding down the hall, and then nothing. Silence. And the hum. That damn hum from Mittens. I lay there, frozen. I don't know for how long. It felt like hours. I didn't dare move. I didn't dare breathe. I just stared into the darkness, listening to nothing. Eventually, exhaustion must have taken over. I must have fallen asleep. When I woke up the next morning, the room was cold, really cold, colder than it had ever been, and Mittens was gone. Not on my bed, not anywhere in the room. Gone. The house was silent, a deep, heavy, unnatural silence. I called for my dad. No answer. I ran through the house. His bed was made. His clothes were still in the closet. His car was in the driveway, but he was gone. And the other one, the kitten in the back room, gone too. The food bowl was empty, the water dish untouched, like it had just vanished into thin air. No note, nothing, just an empty house. My dad, vanished. The police came, of course they did. Missing persons. They searched, they interviewed me. They asked if he seemed distressed, if we had argued. I tried to tell them about the kittens, about Jimmy Miller, about Mrs. Henderson and Mr. Jenkins. But they just looked at me, a little girl, talking about weird cats. They nodded kindly, said I had a vivid imagination. They said sometimes people just leave, disappear, reinvent themselves. But I knew he didn't just leave. They found no trace, no explanation. And the other kittens? The ones with Mrs. Henderson, the Millers, Mr. Jenkins? Well, they were already gone, weren't they? Or dead. No one connected it. No one ever did. I went to live with my aunt after that. My mom came back, of course, absolutely devastated. She never recovered, never understood. She died a few years later. The mystery of what happened to my father, it just ate her alive. I've gone back and forth on this for years, over and over. Did I imagine it? Was it just a string of awful coincidences? child's mind connecting unrelated tragedies. I mean, who would believe it? Black kittens left on a doorstep at Christmas, causing accidents and disappearances. It sounds insane. I know it does. But I remember the cold. The way Mittens would just watch me. The low, incessant hum that wasn't a purr at all. And my father's eyes that night. The look of acceptance. Like he finally understood something terrible. Like he knew he had to go. To this day, if I see a black cat, especially one with those big, round, unblinking eyes, a shiver runs through me. A deep, bone-chilling cold. I cross the street. I avoid them. Because I know how they look, and I know what they can do. You can't prove it. You can't. But sometimes you just know. And that's the real horror of it. Never being able to prove it. Just remembering. And feeling that cold. Always that cold. And so ends tonight's tale. A box of kittens. Thank you for sitting with us in the dark. If the shadows spoke to you tonight, subscribe to Spookin' Softly and stay close. There are more stories waiting, more voices in the walls, more things that go quiet just before you notice them. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.